it's also like at that stage of the game, the main goal isn't to execute your team fight perfectly, it's to stem the flow of bleeding, right? Because you've kind of lost laning stage, enemies swarming, taking all towers. So you need to take any fight you can and try and break even. You don't necessarily need to win, just to
Mhm.
stop the Dire from completely steamrolling you. So
Anyway,
like imperfect execution is fine.
We got a
anyway, I wanted to
draft,
say,
and we got lots to
yeah.
talk about here because this is a much more interesting pool than I think the last one there in terms of stuff to come out.
Oh
Do you see,
geez, so many
guys,
good first
stuff to
picks.
come out there in terms of first picks? I know what I would pick.
Well,
Reincarnation, Borrowed Time, Pulse Nova, there's Greater Cleave,
Ice Blast,
Wild
Warrior's
Axes
Punch,
Wild
stands out.
Axes, Glaives.
Acorn Shots. So I
Yeah.
want to say first of all
Acorn
that
shot
like
into Glaives is just, oh my gosh.
I want to say first of all that the Radiant heroes are like all middle of the pack kind of heroes. Like none of them are like absolutely atrocious. I think none of them are
Oh,
fantastic. Maybe Wraith King, you could say, okay, Wraith King's kind of bad, but you know he does have first pick to stop that. On the dire side, you have PA and Clinks, which are awful, and you have Leshrac and Hoodwink, which are amazing.
Yeah,
So I
it's
think this
kind
was a
of
very smart decision.
offset.
I think this was a smart decision by both sides to roll the dice on this one,
but I
because
think
if you're Radiant, you want to have that mulligan for the last game to give you a chance to come back, and if you're Dire, you know you're willing to hold on to your mulligan as like a last bit of nos or something to get you over the line.
And
but
it's
I
a
think
good
hero
pool. Like,
ordering
there's a
matters a
lot
lot
in
here as
here
well,
to.
right? Like the fact that you have Sven Hoodwink as your first two, just go core. Then you have the PA
Yes.
Clinks, the weaker ones as third, fourth, and last pick, double pick is the Leshrac. So you can
Yes.
have 1, 2, and 5 as
Spellcaster.
your core heroes, and then 3 and 4 as your supports, or like mix a 3 in there somewhere.
And there's lots of good stuff for them too. Like Clink's getting the Stormhammer here is amazing. Again, Clink's generally useless as a hero, it feels like, but having something like that makes them just a great little support
Oh,
hero. And
yes.
PA picking up the big ulti here
The
too.
blur.
I was going to ask who gets Blur, and yeah, I guess it's just better to pick it on a Lesh, play as a core, and not allow Abaddon to get it or someone on the way back.
One note is that the Beastmaster has taken Acorn Shot, not traditionally a super good spell on him, I guess. But his Jakira didn't want it, and if he didn't have it, Hoodwink would have had it.
Yeah, and we just called out earlier the hood the Blaves combined with the Acorn shot is just scary.
And it's also
Curse
good on
of
the way back, he can get Bushwhack, right? If he's going for
yes,
support stunner kind of thing, he can just be Acorn Shot
absolutely.
Bushwhack.
I'm a huge fan of that. And I was gonna say there's Chilling Touch and there's Curse of Avernus as well, which could be pretty interesting. Oh, Burning Barrage. Okay, wow.
Yep, that'll get that rolling awful quick.
Yeah, so
Lucent
what is
Beam
the
for the
risk in here?
axes. Macropire, Lucent Beam, Shard. Okay.
Very
And
Tauntaun-esque.
it blocks them, and if you go for the Shard as well, that's pretty good with the axes. I didn't see that. I would for sure have gone like Lucent Beam or Macropire or something. But I guess on the way back, he can go Lucent Beam, and then no one's going to pick his ulti, so we can have that until last pick.
Or you can go Macropire. Tauntaun's a big fan of Macropire.
Yep, you called it.
So now I'm interested to see kind of what Hoodwink goes here. There's a lot of good options, like you say, Bushwhack. Does he go for an ultimate in the form of Warrior's Punch? He is going to be a damage dealer, and I don't
Hoodwink,
think you
Death
want the
Pact,
Abaddon.
right? Doesn't go Death Pact?
I
There's
think there's so many
so
good
many
ultimates
options.
left, actually.
There's so many options, right?
You're
You
going to
can
get
pick
one of
any
them on the
one
way
of those
back?
four
Yeah,
and
I
be
guess.
happy.
Yes.
And I guess the fact that Mortal Strike on Abaddon means less chance for Coup de Grace to be picked up, he can go Death Pact Abaddon on the way back up.
Yeah, or Warrior's Punch. Or God's Strength. Like, I think we might see Abaddon possibly go God's Strength.
I'm expecting the Beastmaster to pick up the crit to go with the
Oh,
Acorn here.
there's the Bushwhack that you were saying with
Maybe
the
the
reliable
God.
stun.
But does he go Lucent Eclipse, though? Yeah.
Maybe.
I think
I'm
that
not a
that
huge
was
fan of that now.
that was a hard choice, but like looking at the ultis, he doesn't want any of them but Eclipse, and if he goes Eclipse, he
Yeah.
needs Lucent Beam. This Legend's going to be so annoying.
I think there's an argument to be made that
Scurry.
they could have left the Eclipse in, and he could have taken Death Pact, and then Abaddon takes
He
Warrior's
does
Punch,
take the
but that
death
does
back
leave Coup de
anyways.
Grace. Yeah. Just trying to limit Blop's options, I guess.
But he's going to get a good one, and you've I don't know, made your build weaker.
I'm not a huge fan of Lucent Beam at Eclipse at the moment. And further to go with that, there is also Hawk of the Wild.
The only thing I could be thinking about is because he already had the early Split Earth, is thinking about the Shard. And we saw the Shard build come out there the other day, and it can be incredibly strong with the Lucent Beam damage coming out as part of that. Now, the Def Pack adding to that damage, there could be something there.
No one really has a super good Shard build at the moment. There's a good Ags build on the Sven. But I don't think there's I don't see anything which is insane.
Yeah, there's also like the block picking, right? Block pick Wraith Pact against Hoodwink, block Lucent Beam against Tauntaun Sven.
Oh,
Like Haru has like triple block picked, right? Acorn Shot, Lucent Beam,
yeah.
and Death Pact.
Yeah. Maybe the Leshrac Ags will be pretty good because you get the Nihilism, and then the Blur will reset your Diabolic Edict and Scurry. Like, I don't know how Blur works with charge-based stuff. I guess it just gives you one charge, the same as a
I'm not
Rearm.
sure.
I
Maybe
believe it does.
Faith Cowboy.
It's been a while since I've tested that one, to be honest.
Yeah, but I really do. I like the Leshrac build because it represents good value, good synergy early on, and if you get the Ags and you start being able to chain nihilisms together, like the game it becomes unfun for the Radiant team.
I think even before that, the amount of magic damage they've got between Sven, Lesh, just at like level 6, level 7, like 10 minutes in, I could see these heroes just running at people non-stop.
Yeah, we need a pipe or something. And Wraith Pacts. We need all
You
of
just
the
need
above.
fast BKBs and Wraith Pact on Radiant. Maybe supports can get a glimmer, but yeah.
Should we have a look at the lanes? So Fish is going to be playing support on what I thought was actually going to be the Lensk build in the form of Klinks. He's got the Stormhammer Bushwhack combination. He's in the top lane with Blop on Hoodwink. And I know Blop really likes Hoodwink as a model, so he'll be happy once again. Mid lane, it's Tauntaun on his Sven. Wild Axe's build, so no doubt we'll be seeing Ags come out on him. Possibly even the Shard as well, because Liquid Frost. Could be some action here bottom.
They're literally
Everyone's
knocking
bumping
into
into
each other here. There we go.
Well, Lenska's going to die in... or is he?
I don't know, he dodges all the spells with Snowball. There's a lot of right clicks still coming though. He's got a Fairy Fire.
He'll be... Oh, maybe not.
No, with Dual Breath,
That's the damage. The Dual Breath was
Fairy
it.
Fire is not enough.
It's like, where is the big damage here?
Does this lead to an extra bounty rune for them? I don't think so, because Wraith King snuck in behind.
And he was able to
Beatbox
get
takes
it.
that top one, yeah. So
Nice
2 for
work,
2.
good. And yeah, to finish off the Dire side, we have Leshrac on that build. We were talking about Blur, Pulse Nova, Diabolic Edict, Scurry. So going to be pushing the lanes, but also representing huge magic damage. And once he gets Ags, he's going to be able to refresh the Nihilism every time he gets a kill. And maybe Dire side, the Radiant side, when you take us through your highlights on each of the lanes.
No.
Okay, I'll do it then. Beastmaster.
Straight up no. I like it.
This Beastmaster build, it is kind of a bunch of block picks in terms of spells, but it is a very frustrating hero to play against, I think. You have the Split Earth, obviously value throughout. You get the Shard for the Lucent Beam upgrade and Split Earth recurring. And the Death Pact, able to make you a bit tankier, do a bit more damage. I think it was more of a block pick ulti, reducing the choices for Blop, so not much to say about that. And Beatbox is a kind of tanky offlaner. Wants to run at you, be in your face, war cry. Has the reincarnation, which obviously would be a lovely Aghanim Scepter later on.
It's just the fact they've got double stuns here. Like that's why Fish is playing so far to the right-hand side. I think he's going to have to come and sit like northwest of where Blop is, play in the like left-hand tree side. So if you're stuck out here consistently and you're not blocking a pull or you're not pulling yourself, you are a target to be gone on. Like right now, if Beatbox had seen him, probably would have gone for the double stun.
And mid lane, we have the Jakira up against Tauntaun. So A lot of harass is going to come out on Tonton here. From the dual breath as a melee hero, really does suck. And Chilling Touch. Those long range harassing spells slows you down even more. Ice Vortex, really cheap and nice spell to add on top of that. Very frustrating, I think, for Tonton. He's going to have to rely on Whirling Axe, the Wild Axes, and wow, a lot of damage getting taken by the Jakir here. But he's also going to have to rely on the small camp.
Well, that's the thing. Tonton can't farm small camp because Jakiro is pushing wave and harassing him. But Jakiro can't farm small camp because his spells kind of suck at it.
Dual Breath is okay, but I guess you want to be using that on the Sven on cooldown, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And on the wave.
Like, it doesn't, like, insta-clear the camp, right? You have to sit there hitting for 10 seconds
Yeah.
or something. Like, you dual breath, you hit. Yeah, you're just wasting so much time.
Oh, and then to finish off the Radiant side is the bot lane. We got Ancient Apparition, Liquid Fire, Cold Feet, kind of a harassing build, but more control coming later with the Ice Path. And probably my favorite ultimate in the game, Ice Blast. Absolutely devastating. Reduces the value of lifesteal, reduces the tankability on the enemy team. So, interested to see how that works. But a very unusual role, I think, as a support is just, this harass heavy build, as opposed to controlling the pulls and, getting stuff done. Oh, Magic Stick, Linsk, in a little bit of trouble here.
Nah, he was saving his Lesh. He's decently tanky.
They nearly brought the AA down. I don't know if you saw that. And yeah, the last hero. Yeah, and the last hero, the Abaddon, with this very greedy hybrid build of Cleave, Phantom Strike, Mortal Strike, and Warrior's Punch. So he's going to want to get into the jungle, I think, as soon as the laning stage starts becoming dangerous or inefficient. He's going to just jungle like a demon.
They don't stack, right? You have to Mortal Strike and then Walrus Punch because the crits don't stack together, right? You get one or the other.
Yeah, I think they do. I think they need to have. You can only crit once per attack, and I don't know which one has higher priority. My guess would be the Walrus Punch.
I believe the Walrus Punch is coded with like the absolute highest priority, but I could be mistaken.
So let's say he goes Shadow Blade. He wants the Shadow Blade without Walrus Punch and with Mortal Strike, and then second attack Walrus Punch to get the most damage out.
Yeah, so he has to use the ult.
It can be a bit awkward to execute this kind of build.
Yeah, so he has to like Alt R to turn it off while he's running through, make the hits, and then Alt R again to get the second hit.
But he does have the blink to get back on top of them in terms of the Phantom Strike there, so it shouldn't be too hard to execute that in terms of being able to get into the 1-2 hit.
We do have a comment coming in from one of the finalists, the grand finalists, who watching this game with anticipation. He says Moonglade's Burning Barrage is GG, referring to Blop's build.
It's very strong.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting Burning Barrage builds that I know that Blop is acutely aware of which one of those works and doesn't work. But
jumping on the Jakiro.
Such a tanky model though. Like, he's under tower, he's got 8 armor, and Haru with that stun is gonna kill Tonton instead.
I really do like the Jakira, and also, especially as a core, when you get to level 10, you get plus 325 attack range. Absolutely insane. Especially with Chilling Touch on top of that. Because that gives you an attack range bonus, right?
Yeah, I think when Purge's tournament was on, I don't know where I put that notepad document now, but I did all the maths on like the longest ranged heroes, and I think it was like Jakiro with Chilling Touch, his talent, and Take Aim.
Yeah.
And Telescope and Dragonlance, right? Yeah. It's like the longest range you can actually have on a hero.
It's like 3,000 range or something.
I'm trying to remember if it was Dragon Form or Meta or like what the additional spell was to give you the most range.
I mean, it probably is Jakiro with Dragon Form, Take Aim, and Chilling Touch. I think it has to be those.
And then Dragonlance, Telescope, yeah. Man, rest in peace, Ballista.
Oh.
Taken before its time. No. Such a good item.
Never come back, please.
Oh, action top. Blop. Man, just scurry away with Skeleton Walk. And I think this is also what's really one of the characteristics of the good like ability drop cores in this tournament is that they know the limits of their heroes and they know based on the enemy draft how defensive they need to be.
Oh, lots of
which
action
sometimes-
bottom.
Oh, sorry.
Well, Lenska just protecting his Lash. Should be able to get a cross kill on the AA as he's getting himself out of the tree line. Oh, come
Oh!
on, Faustus. One more hit. He's got it. He's got
He
it.
got
It's
it, he got
fine.
it.
Like, no risk, full reward.
That last
Yeah.
little stick or fairy fire there just saving his life. I thought he was going to be able to get away.
You just stack the enemy small camp as well. But he's about to hit level 6, so he can actually go and farm that himself quite nicely.
So one thing to say is that mid lane, Tonton has been really shut down this game. He's got like just over half the creeps that the Jakira has. So this is what you were talking about, Gary. It was like the Jakira needs to put pressure on mid to stop the Sven having freedom, but it really is favoring the Jakira in a huge way, despite the fact that he has no options. He's got to do it.
Yeah, but again, it's one of those like that's the thing. If you frame it as something that he needs to do, he's doing satisfactorily, right? He's not doing an amazing job. He has fulfilled the requirements of his lane. I mean, Tonton with axes and Macropire, if they make some stacks for him, he can easily catch up and he can easily hit his axe timing
Action bottom.
nicely.
Action bottom.
There's a
Nice
nice
size
cap on a
spot.
cold feet. Again, just
Let's
gonna
go.
trade AA.
They're going to chase him down.
And they're gonna get the rune. Lovely. This
How
is
can
something
you
that
get
we've
away
seen,
from this scurry? Like, he's just going to be able to run you down regardless.
This is something I've also seen the fastest Mahaximus do more than anyone else in this tournament is buy a bottle as an offlaner. Really, I think the idea is almost sometimes Tonton. Oh, they're gonna have to have a pause here. Sometimes it's because Tonton doesn't go bottle, but sometimes it's when he does go bottle and they kind of divvy up the runes and Tonton plays on the other side of the map from the offlane. I think it's kind of an interesting note to make. I think Rob's writing this one down, right?
Now, the last time this happened, Lenska was in my stack and we'd queued 20 minutes for a pub and then he never came back.
Ooh, interesting.
Lenska is also a very naughty man. We had a 100% win rate with like 30 games and then he griefed me and we lost. Oh, he's not griefing his team this time.
Well, I mean, you can only hope. I wonder what my win rates is with Lens.
I'd imagine it's
played
pretty high.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that doesn't generally grief, and obviously, I think he's a really enjoyable player to play with. So, always have good times with him.
It's nice to
I
have
think
someone that
every
goes
time
the
he messages
support
me on
route.
every time he messages me on Steam now, it's always him apologizing for something that happened 6 months ago. He's so sad we lost the 100% win rate.
I wonder what his name is on the website because he's changed it up a lot.
Looks like they're going top to try to punish Blop here. They bring a
Yeah.
huge rotation.
They've got Dust.
Yep.
Easily see him. And he's way too far forward there.
He did get the tower out of it, though, so at least something there, but he'll pay for that with his life.
Well, they denied it, right? So he didn't
Did
get... Yeah, Beatbox denied it.
Oh, yes, they did. My bad.
Well, they get tier 1 bottom as well, and it's kind of unusual for top lane tier 1 on the Radiant side to die so soon. So they do gain a decent way, yeah, they're picking it out now, a decent way into that Radiant triangle to contest stacks. Like, Blop could, when he respawns, TP top outpost, go invade. Maybe they'll play into mid first just to try and get the attention away from triangle. But I think it's going to be pretty important for them to do something about this ancient stack, because Slightly Zabadan is already in the area.
Yeah, so for those of you interested, some more information about the Mysterious Man Lens. Currently 79th on the EU leaderboard.
Eat up those
Some
mean
of the-
points, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's all about the mean points, right?
Abaddon can't actually take this. He's really struggling on Ancients. And the lines have been drawn like 3 times now.
Yeah, they've said you
Blop.
gotta get in there.
Blop, Fish, and Lenska have all been like drawing on the map, pinging, just get it, go to the Radiant Ancients. And here's Blop to steal it. God's strength with the Burning Barrage Glaive.
That's how you
couldn't
take
handle it,
Ancients, right
the
there.
Hoodwink easily takes it all.
Wow.
That's going to be such a sad surprise for Slightly. Oh, is he going to die here as well? Snowball into nothing. Faustus doesn't have any real continuation spell.
Turns out I've only played 7 games of Lens, and we've won 6 of them. Sad.
Oh, good chain stuns.
Wow.
Immediate nuke down of Tauntaun. Snowball from Lenska looking for Slightly, but he can't finish it. He doesn't have damage. Pops his borrowed time and will try to run away with 15 1 charges. He should get a bit of distance, but he's not going to use it. Just keeps the charges for later. And
Huge
dies
punish.
anyway.
Huge punish.
They're gonna, yeah, I mean, they're going to feel so good about this, then they're going to go up to their ancients and be like, wait.
Where to go?
Wait, Slightly's going to be here, like, hang on a second.
Oh, he sees
My
it.
ancients have
He
gone.
sees it.
Yeah, maybe let's transition over to net worth, and you'll see that Blop's net worth skyrocketing here, and I think there's been a good job by the Jakiro to control Tauntaun, like we were talking about earlier. But the Abaddon's also done a fine job at farming, despite that bot lane being a bit annoying in many ways.
And he's got farming steroids galore, right? He's got Phantom Strike plus Great Cleave maxed out. Nothing can stand in his way.
He's gone Mask of Madness, and he's going to go Echo Saber, so farming is the name of the game for him.
I think that's a bit greedy.
Do you think he needs BKB?
I absolutely think the Radiant team need at least one early BKB. Well, Ice Blast mid, but Faustus, he's run himself back into the river to try to dodge this sharpshooter. Off the mark.
Now they're going to re-engage.
Yeah, Lenska's there with a snowball back in. So Dobby and Sumpy up on their high ground. Can't contend with the borrowed time. While bottom lane, they're also chasing Tauntaun. B-Box does have another stun with skeletons chasing him. Yeah, Tauntaun too tanky though. He's level 10. He's got 1500 max HP. And he's well on his way to his Ags now. So it's like 15 minutes in, he'll have Ags easily.
One thing to note is that part of the benefit of the Reincarnation Shard isn't just the no mana. It means that you get 3 skeletons spawn every time when Reincarnation is triggered. And he has Vampiric Spirit, so...
Slightly just able to get out top lane there.
So I think there's some nice little, like, mana synergies, shard synergies there. Whether or not we'll see that is, it's kind of interesting, I think. And he's also going greedy, by the way. He's going straight for the Aghanim Scepter.
Okay. I mean, that's a way to not buy BKB early and have Ags Wraith King with that reincarnation ghost form on everybody. And then you buy BKB later and, they last longer because you've kind of held out on buying it early on and using all the charges.
Once he's having internet problems, it seems.
And like we've not really seen that much from Blop, right? Laning phase was decent. He went and stole the ancient stack, but he's got Gleipnir done, and he could actually look to play with his team to find kills. Shadow Walk, Skeleton Walk into Gleipnir, Burning Barrage, could kill basically anybody.
Does he need to?
But this is Blop we're talking about. He's going to be farming for another 10 minutes at least. Come on, let's be honest.
Do they need to fight? Is the question? Because
did he need to buy Gleipnir? If he doesn't want to fight,
I don't think so. But I'm just saying, like, Gleipnir is quite like it's stats on top of Maelstrom, and he obviously goes for the Maelstrom with the Moonglaves and with the Burning Barrage. Good synergy. So more stats on top of that just means it's a Hoodwink, right? Hoodwink's got 300 damage less, has nice synergy.
Like he just comes bot, catches someone, takes him to half HP, clears the wave. He's definitely going to be farming aggressively.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Also, I think if he wanted to, farm and scale, it'd just be like Maelstrom into Skadi, Maelstrom BKB, something like that.
I think the Gleipnir is fine, and it gives him solo kill potential. Makes him a bit tankier. And
We'll jump
gets
top.
him actually top.
Good Ice Blast again, but Lenska has borrowed time. And Faustus, a lot of damage coming his way. A bit of a snowball save, but with slightly there, just Walrus punching his last remaining bits of HP. He'll get a double kill after killing Lenska as well.
Yeah, if I'm Blop and I'm seeing this, I'm thinking, okay, let's wait until I have one more item before he fights. And I think BKB is a good, excellent choice for that.
I don't think it's down to Blop. I think Blop is like in this kind of transitory phase where he's farming, yes, but he has to also look for kills and create space on the map by aggressively farming and pushing out bot wave in particular. Because the real thing they're waiting for is Tauntaun. You know,
Yeah,
he needs Ags.
Sure.
Like, he needs Ags, he needs his Ether Lens or whatever it is that comes next. You know, he's the one that needed the space to be made for him and then will become the space creator for Blop to continue farming afterwards.
That's true. I just think that window might be so small because Tauntaun's so close to finishing this Ags now. So I think Blop will appear at team fights, but if they start winning those team fights, he might, like you said, take a back seat, carry on farming, and let Tauntaun do the lifting.
Oh, poor Ancient Apparition. He went towards the regen rune. He gets it, but dies for it.
Meanwhile, pressure bottom. Blop is in the hood, gets the Gleipnir out. I think Barrage doesn't do too much. Gets dusted up, gets slowed down, but here comes Fish with a roll. And who's
block
going
the
to tank this?
sharpshooter.
Yeah, he's... But no one else came, I'm surprised. Instead, they're going for the mid tower. So Fish came to save, not to punish.
And now they're all rotating mid. We've got two Radiant heroes coming in for the rebound.
Man, Boomerang is actually pretty sick on this Jakiro. I really do not rate Boomerang as a good Aghanims upgrade. I think it's pretty garbage.
Feels
but
like it should
incoming
be a
spell
short.
damage, yeah, I think so. But like incoming spell damage when you've got this Ice Vortex Chilling Touch Boomerang on people, plus Sharpshooter, Jakiro does such long range immediate damage as they go and beatbox mid. A stun catching Haru's Beastmaster as well, but nice Ice Path. Darbeg with the Ice Blast as well, does clip onto Lenska. Doesn't have the shatter on Faustus, but he's been broken and damaged by the Sharpshooter. As the PA finally does fall in the river, but here comes Blop. Big damage again from the Gold Strength, and the Moonglaive just barraging them down with his first spell. And Fish, Stormhammer, but insta-punched slightly with a one-hit. Destroys the Clinks. And all things considered, it feels like a pretty good hold there from the Dire, keeping that Jakiro alive.
Oh, Blops got caught out. Try to be greedy and sneak a kill on Beatbox or the Jakiro. And yeah, these shit tips come in. I think these are totally earned. These are totally deserved.
Who gets the DD? Wraith King. Should lose Reincarnation here, though. I don't believe he's blocked by the shards completely, so he can continue walking westwards. Yeah. But 2 minutes now with no Reincarnation means Beatbox going to have to be a little more wary of his positioning, but he is 130 gold away from Ags. So these Skeleton, Wraith, Reincarnation heroes are going to be popping back up. And the continual damage from the Radiant, you know, they're not reliant on big, long-ass cooldowns. It is majority have this Abaddon and Jakiro just right-click. Those ghosts are pretty strong. Is the Abaddon just dying to Faustus? He's on 20 HP and slips away. Dobby saves him up, but now gets turned on. Haru could line up a good stun here, but got clipped by the snowball. And the Ice Path keeps the Leshrac back in that left-hand tree line.
Yeah, he does so much damage. Imagine a guy... If what's his name, Blop was still there and had a Gleipnir, could have been juicy, or just got one hit off, I guess. Yeah, the BKB we're gonna see Ags finished on the Leshrac in how long? Almost done. Flying out some, I think.
I'm just surprised Abaddon, I guess. Usually with this Echo Saber into BKB build, we see them disassemble and have the faster BKB, and it probably would have helped him a lot in that top lane. But instead he decides to just keep the Echo and completely buy BKB as mid. Snowball onto the Wraith King, no Reincarnation, but he has Aghanims and a 2-man Ice Path. Again, just keeping the Dire at bay as slightly punches Faustus. trading out 2 for 1, and the big right clicks from Sumpy, keeping Tonton on the back lines, really heavily damaged. The Ghost Form is there as Blop clears up the rest of them. Jakiro's going to die as his corporeal form has already been taken from this earth, and Tonton gets a double kill. A Radiant focusing like 3 heroes and really struggling to just kill off one of these damage-dealing cores.
Absolutely huge ice path to start off. It looked like the Dire team were about to get absolutely destroyed. But yeah, it turns out that Blop does a lot of damage right now, and he is able to survive.
Blob, look at the damage coming out of Tauntaun. Wow, the macro fire
Yeah.
the axis. He was just.
I mean, his is incidental damage. That damage doesn't count, right? Because it's on the floor. You don't see it happening.
Enemy team stood in the fire. Whelp's left side. Oh god. Like Jakiro just stood in Macropire for a good 5-6 seconds. Considering it's one of his spells, you would have thought he would realize, like, wait, I shouldn't be here.
That's the kind of thing you can imagine when voice comes. That's our Macropire, right?
Yep.
Hey, we've all been there.
Yeah. I have to say that the Wraith King Axe, the Reincarnation Axe, didn't seem to do very much.
Well, it did. Oh, Lenska.
Oh, nice ice border.
He should still die here, though. I mean, Haru keeps doing this. He keeps getting caught in the snowball instead of stepping off to the side so he can land his stuns. But in the end, it does seem fine. Slightly looking worse for wear, though, with all that Macropire damage on him. And Tonton, considering the go back in. But yeah, I think the Wraith King Reincarnation Ags, it did, like, it should have been good, but the Radiant didn't, acquire their targets correctly. They were going on 3 different heroes at once.
Oh, Tonton gets caught out top. Here we go,
but here's
BKB.
Blop, man. BKB, Barrage, not enough damage to kill off Beatbox just yet, and he just get himself away. As the Ghost AA misses the Ice Path, and the Sharpshooter is in behind the Hoodwink as well. A good pick off on Tonton.
Well, these heroes are low. Blop is looking. Oh, he gets him. Turns around.
There's no BKB, though. And Wraith King has this. Oh, there's no reveal, no dust, no sentries, no gem.
They used it all.
They had.
Beatbox uses it now. Came off cooldown again, but Blop's already slipped away.
So Beatbox dusted Blop, and Blop went on a huge little sneaky side mission up into towards the triangle, and then turned around by the secret shop, and that's how he got in that position.
Very good wraparound.
Wraparound is the name of the game. And Blop returns to the jungle. And guess what Fish has left him? A little bit of a present. Triple stack in the Ancients. Wipes those up. I'm interested to see what's Blop. Okay, Blop's got queued up as a big crit machine and then a Scotty. Like this, I like this combination. Oh, Lance gets caught out.
He don't care.
He pops the bar inside.
It's like, come on, walk into the Macropire. I dare you.
At least they know the rush is going on now.
Yeah, they do know, but there's 2 boars out. It looks like this Wraith King is going to die. And he's not the hero you want to die at the start of the fight.
Oh, he's trapped in the Macropire now, too.
And then there's the Roar and the Abaddon. They can focus slightly down. That's all of their right-click damage. Well, he gets a good punch, but Blop is able just to stand there and hit him. Now the Ghost form, but he can't get towards the Hoodwink again. Lenska just snowballing around. Will be brought down by Haru, but Blop is cleaning everybody else up. All they need to do is chase, but that's a good Ice Blast. The Ice Path, Ice Blast combo. The Ancient Apparition solos him. And Faustus, he's gone aggressive. Looking for Haru. Jakiro can push a lot of damage from the high ground now, though. Still gonna be wary of Tonton. 2 axes stacked on him. And Haru, considering going back in, risky business, but Lash is pretty much out of mana, so could have gone for it.
He was maybe just trying to help scout for the Jakiro. Because he was running away from the Jakiro and they didn't know where Tonton had gone to. Tonton with another Ender's Rune. And Rosh is at half HP. What's going to happen here? Okay, Tonton drops the Macropire. Wild Axes. Messes up the shards. Or is that right? Is this the right way to shards?
I mean, look at how much damage he's done.
Pause as the rush gets taken. Beatbox with the timing.
He doesn't have blink, right? No, there's no way he can come here and steal it.
And I think his build going chainmail, blade mail next is normally something you'd say is way too late, but there is a lot of incidental damage on the Dire side, so I'm not as opposed to it as I normally would be, but I'm not sure if it's the right decision.
Yeah, I don't see what else is good, honestly.
Feels like he needs some more impact, to be honest.
Like, he needs a Hex, but that's too expensive. You're not going to get a Hex, like, in the next, 5-10 minutes. It's going to take you a bit longer on this Wraith King. So I think, yeah, Blade Mail is kind of the best of both worlds. Like, he's doing damage. He's becoming a target that they don't want to go on, so he can continually stun and spam skeletons and stuff.
The pause caught Tauntaun off guard there, so the Aegis was sitting on the ground there for just a second.
Maybe Wraith Pact. No one on his team has bought that item yet. We actually also don't see a Wraith Pact yet on the Dire side, but Lensk is going to buy one now. And why are they Ice Blasting Rush? Interesting. Maybe looking to see if there were any items left lying around. Like what?
The pause confused them as well.
Yeah, possibly.
Because the pause was exactly when Roshan died.
Did he die? I don't know. Do you remember? It was pause. No, throw your thing in there. Let's find out. It's like, don't we have a scan for that?
If they can catch Blop here, huge kill. They see him, they jump, they punch. That's 1,000 HP gone, but Blop has BKB. No. The dust comes, but he's slipping out of there. Oh, man.
The ice path was half a hoodwink short.
Half a hoodwink.
And look at how quickly they respond. No junglers straight up into this top jungle. They know that spells have been spent. They know there's cooldowns for the Radiant, so they go in on the AA. Topic glimmers and backs out, but the Macropyre and the shards. Tauntaun has the help of the Roar, but this Ice Blast finds Blop again. They just snipe this hoodwink so easily, while Tauntaun struggling to contend with the physical damage of the Abaddon. Faustus BKB'd up, and Lenska borrowed time there to survive against the skeletons, but they've lost Tauntaun's Aegis, and they haven't really killed off any big heroes on the Radiant. And Wraith King's Reincarnation, yes, it's down now as he Wraith Blasts and runs away, but this Jakiro is doing some good work from the backlines. Could maybe even turn and finish off Faustus here, but he's a little afraid. Oh, he gets the snipe! Beautiful sharpshooter, but this allows Lenska and Tauntaun to close the gap on him, find the Jakiro in the wide open, and Stormhammer him down.
I mean, it does look like a fight that favors the Dire side, but it definitely shouldn't have been that close. The Aegis was gone, and Blop died right at the start.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is.
What do we need to see from the Radiant side here? I mean, it does seem like the Radiants have worked out. Kill Blop and the fights are easy. The Dire team, they know that they need to protect Blop at all costs.
Wait, that fight was a gold swing advantage to Radiant?
Yeah, I mean, it was 4-3, but it was just supports left, right? Because the Leshrac got sniped right at the end. So it doesn't surprise me, but...
I mean, it's just the fact it was gold swing advantage and Aegis advantage. And the fact that the Dire just like threw everything at them with a hero advantage.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, look at Faustus' damage. The Pulse Nova. Oh my god, he gets the Abaddon as well. Slightly, really even with his BKB on, just dies.
The Clinks is doing an excellent job this game. Has gone for Drum of Endurance and going to be picking up a Boots of Bearing, a Rob item here. Another nice Ice Shards. And Tauntaun really showing us the power of that spell.
And the difference between these two teams clashing 5v5 and having like some stragglers getting picked up and have this domino effect of heroes just toppling over. Massive. Like Radiant, when they're able to stand their ground and pick someone to jump on. Like if Abaddon can see someone that he can Phantom Strike kill with War's Punch, fight goes super well for Radiant. If he's getting run at, stunned and sharded and caught with wild axes, he's not that powerful. Oh, Faustus.
Scaring on the side. Stormhammer and Horror. Tower's taking some damage, but there's also action in the jungle. Beatbox kills the courier, but Tonton kills Beatbox's first life. He's going to try to escape there, but there's lots of heroes coming for him. TPing in a nice spot here. And he's going to survive. Really sneaky little play there by him. Essential.
Now the big question for the Dire is what do they want to do? With no Roshan to take and only one tier 2 mid standing, it's kind of a natural flow for them just to barrel it down mid. But I kind of feel like they want to play it a little safe for a while, maybe try and, force or hope that Radiant smokes into them, hold some high grounds, play under their vision, because waiting for Roshan is more important than killing a tier 2 right now. Like holding your ground on the map.
I think that's true because they also have like this, like it's not like Blop is 6 items or something. He's still got room to grow. He's gone for Lincoln Sphere, which is interesting because he did have Deadless Skadi queued up, and now he's gone Lincolns and nothing queued up.
Like I feel like that was risky. You've got two. It's a 2v5 mid. It's Lesh and PA with 5 Radiant heroes that could go on them, but Radiant are so afraid that they just let it happen because they're expecting 5 to be there.
Yeah, and they don't have deep wards, so they don't know where Blop is unless he goes down into the low ground at the top. But now it looks like there could be a little bit of action here. Beatbox, Blade Mail running in, Lensk. Fastest is really deep here. Needs to use Scurry to escape.
Man.
Oh man, and the Scurry is so nifty.
He has Blur, he has Scurry. Like Abaddon, those are the 2 targets Abaddon cannot and should not be going on, to be honest. He's going on Lenska with Borrowed Time, can't kill him. He's going on Faustus on his Lesh, you can't kill him. So Tonton can just bring down Beatbox, a couple of times, spam his spells out, and push high ground now with double catapults. Just one big one.
Killing Beatbox is the best first kill, I guess, because it means that there's no, there's no way for them to fight. They lose out on the whole Ag's ability.
It's not necessarily just him dying first. It's the past 3 times he has gone in, died first, and there's been no spell casting from the rest of his team.
Yeah.
Like if he goes in, tank spells, and all of his team is casting spells as he's dying, it's perfectly fine. Because you're doing damage, you're forcing cooldowns, you're winning the fight. But if he goes in, spells are cast, come back off cooldown, and his team hasn't done anything, then it's really bad.
Just
like
no compensation.
AA just dying to spend spells.
Yeah, there's just no compensation, I guess, for his life in like at least 3 times, right? And he has some more action. Jakiro getting Ice Shards and Macropive. Boom. Eliminated. Brought down.
I mean, this is a game now.
Yeah,
unless Abaddon can 1v5 and just get like kill after kill after kill, he'll try and jump in. As the E-Blade, though, slightly didn't stand a chance there and has no buyback now.
I think they can go top lane because the tower's at half HP. They know that from last time. Fastest is not full HP though, but I think he's willing to risk it. Oh, they're sending back Tonton to push out the wave. But they do have creeps in the base here, so it will be a 4v3 in his absence.
But it's like you don't know Abaddon has no buyback, right?
Yeah, so they're playing it cautious. And they know that they can clear the wave super fast.
Like Abaddon and Jakiro could both have buybacks. If you go high ground here, double buyback, you lose the fight, it looks rough. But instead, yeah, just play it safe, wait for Tonton to come in. Maybe try and kill someone off or force a buyback early or out of sync from the rest of the team. And Beatbox with his Blade Mail, trying to stand his ground, does bring the Beastmaster back in his ghost form. Good damage onto Lenska, but you lose your AA. Now you've got 4 heroes dead. GG. It's over.
No jungle. Take the series 2-0. I mean, I don't know what you have to say, but before anyone else is, I gotta say my MVP there was not Blop. It was not Tonton, but it was the Leshrac. It was Fastest. Maximus. I think he was the most important person for a long part of that game for the Dire team. The stats weren't represented necessarily, but he represented so much annoyance, so much harassment. He was pushing towers.
He's just soaking up space on the map. Like with Lenska and Faustus, wherever they go on the map, the enemy team doesn't really want to go and face them because they're going to either trade or they're going to lose a core hero. Or it's just going to take so long to kill one of them that there's TPs that come in and arrive to force a full team fight. Because Borrowed Time plus this Scurry, Blur, Pulse Nova, magic damage pre-BKBs and even against supports who don't have BKBs, you're just taking, 4 or 5 jungle camps away from your opponents, pushing lane, pushing tower, and making sure that the map is limited for them, while you've got this Hoodwink and Sven kind of catching up and out farming.
Yeah, I mean, and remember that Tonton was getting destroyed in the landing stage. Once he got Ags, things changed, but the reason he was able to, like, the game was stable when he got Ags and wasn't completely going against him was because, I think, of the heavy lifting by Leshrac. And that also provided room for Blop. And then Blop provided room for all of them. He was strong in the mid game, but, Leshrac, very solid. I want to say I was not as impressed by the Jakiro as we got later on in the game. He did such a good job in the early stage, but he seemed to fall off. But nonetheless, it was an enjoyable series between GM and No Jungle.
It's
2-0, and it looked like GM could have won both games in some sense.
Yeah, I think both games you can point to draft and say they drafted well, point to team fight execution and say they played a lot of team fights well, individual skill looked pretty decent, but I still feel item choices. Game one we talked about like Perseverance, Enigma, no blink on the Slardar, was it, whoever it was, no Wraith Pact, and this game, like, you're against Wild Axes. How many Dispels do you have? You have BKB on Abaddon, and that's it, right? You have no Lotus, you have no Yules, you have no BKB on Jakiro. And I think that's something that you have to really notice in the draft and just be like, Wild Axes is going to get to a point, whether it's 20, 25 minutes in, where we need something to save our core heroes, or they will just die to Shard Dagger, Macropire, E-Blade, Wild Axes on this Tonton Sven, because his spellcasting is always insane. Yeah, Jakiro with Dragonlance, Maelstrom, Ags, maybe not the best when you're trying to tie it in with this Abaddon, who's gone for pretty greedy items himself.